Hello, I'm Michelle Vendietta, and I'm a second year fine arts student at LMH. In terms of my ethnicity, I'm Latinx, specifically British Ecuadorian. I was born and raised in London. I attended the local state school in my area, which was in Tower Hamlets. I very much had an Ecuadorian upbringing. My family is very proud of our indigenous American and Basque roots. My parents would speak to me in Spanish at home and I would always respond in Spanglish. I still do. So yeah, that was my family life. My extended family is very diverse. I grew up seeing family members from all parts of Latin America. Some of my relatives were Afro-Ecuadorian, others were more indigenous and European. So from a young age, I was aware of just how mixed I was as a Latinx person. Family reunions, my dad would blast Latin music and we would all be dancing to cumbia, bachata, and eating my mum's delicious Ecuadorian food, which consisted of plantains, beans, lentils, rice, seafood and ceviche. The type of food that's difficult to come by in restaurants in the UK. I suppose many of the concerns that I had before starting Oxford were the usual concerns most people have before starting uni. One being looking forward to meeting new people, but also being extremely anxious about coming across as weird, socially awkward, and not feeling comfortable in my environment. It was a mixture of excitement and feeling anxious about whether I'd settle in and feel like I belong somewhere. I was a little skeptical about how diverse Oxford would be prior to starting. I don't expect many non-white ethnic minority people to be here, or for there to be much of a Latinx community at Oxford. Even in London, I was often the only Ecuadorian kid wherever I went, even in all the schools I attended in various areas. So before accepting my offer, I thought, was it really realistic of me to expect an institution such as Oxford to have much of a Latinx presence? I was excited to join an Ecuadorian society, or at least meet other Ecuadorian people who also study at Oxford. Unfortunately, I still haven't met a single person who comes from the same ethnic group as I do. Back when I attended the Freshers' Fair during first term, and I remember seeing a Brazilian and Mexican society present, which was great, but I didn't feel like I really fit into either one of those ethnic groups, because I'm South American, not Central American, and I'm Latinx, but I don't speak Portuguese, I speak Spanish. So I felt like neither one of these societies were a right fit for me. You're not the only one. You won't believe how many people start uni with the same worries that you have. Your concerns are completely normal, and it's okay to be anxious about this new phase of your life. I know I was. Everyone has their own sets of insecurities, worries, you name it. You may think someone already seems to have it all sorted out and they're completely settled in, but the truth is no one does so quickly. My advice is be open to the opportunities available at Oxford. Put yourself out there. Welcome these new experiences that you'll have. And don't feel pressured to try and fit in. I always hear people saying how much they want to fit in and feel like they're part of something. I think that just stems from a desire to feel accepted and belong somewhere. So don't try and fit in, especially if you're doing it at the expense of being yourself. I know this sounds like incredibly cliche, but just be yourself and you'll inevitably attract the people who you'll feel most comfortable being yourself around. I recall during my first week as a fresher, there were these equality and diversity workshops with the intention of introducing all the new students to the culture of LMH as being one that's friendly and inviting to people of all social groups, as well as knowing ways to be respectful towards those who come from different backgrounds than we do. So I really appreciated that my college put the effort to organizing these activities and events in order to foster a welcoming community life and environment for students of all backgrounds. Say Latinx representation is definitely missing in Oxford. I would have liked to have seen a mixed Latinx/Hispanic society for South Americans like myself, because Latin America is so diverse and full of subcultures. So a Latinx community presence is needed in Oxford and more visibility for Latinx people. I did have a somewhat strange thing said to me once by another student. I didn't fully realize how racist their remark was until after the event. What happened was, after being introduced to them and me telling them my ethnicity, they indirectly asked me if I would supply them with drugs because I was Latin American. And I was just surprised that someone would immediately associate my identity with such a thing and make a racist assumption about me, because Latin America and Latinx people have so much more to offer than being someone's drug dealer. As someone who comes from a working class immigrant family, I've experienced setbacks and negative experiences that many of my peers haven't in their lives. However, I try to do my best in not allowing my minority identity to limit me and prevent me from achieving my potential. I refuse to see my background as something to feel ashamed of and hide. I'm very proud of my Latinx background, and it's something that I see as advantageous, actually, because it means I've grown up with a unique perspective on life, and it means I have something different to contribute to Oxford. Well, for starters, something we can all do, including myself, is be more mindful of the language you use and the meanings our words carry, especially how they might affect ethnic minority students when they share their experiences with us. So think before you speak, please, and be respectful towards others. Be conscious of how very different people's experiences of life are, and see it as something to celebrate and learn from rather than look down upon. I feel like I've grown so much and learned so much this past year at Oxford, not just in terms of academic work, but my personal life too. Being at Oxford has been an opportunity for me to mature and meet new people from all across the world. So I've had my fair share of highs and lows this year, but overall I've had a great time, and the negative experiences are completely outweighed by the positive ones. There is a space for you here. Do not feel like Oxford isn't for people like you, and don't let the image of Oxford as this all-white, middle-class, upper class institution stop you from applying and accepting your place here. If you're a minority, please don't think I don't belong here, I'm not welcome here, because you are welcome here. And as I said, I grew up always being the only Latinx or Ecuadorian person in the room. So I know just how important representation is and feeling like you have a place to belong. I know growing up I would have loved to have seen more queer, working class Latinx role model, but someone has to take the first step in creating change. And so I decided I would be my own representation here at Oxford, and hopefully inspire other prospective students to apply and feel like they should be here, they belong here, and they have something valuable to contribute. So if you feel that there's not many people from your ethnic group here, that shouldn't deter you from applying. If anything, it shows that there's a real need for people like you, and you should definitely apply.